Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So this is the continuation of the Pandas series that we have started. So in the first session I have given the introduction to the Pandas library. What is actually Pandas library, then why we use that, what are the advantages of those library, and what is actually Pandas data frame. So all that kind of introduction we have already seen. From this session we are going to practically look at it, like using Python in Collab notebook, how we can use Pandas library and how we can interact with Pandas data frames. So the first and the foremost step is the importing the Pandas library. So how you can import a Pandas library? So as you have imported NumPy library, in the same way you can import Pandas, like import Pandas and an alias name that you can give. Just like for NumPy you have given NP, for Pandas you can give PD. So this is an generally accepted alias name that we give for Pandas. So there are two central concepts that you need to know. One is the series and second is the data frame. So before understanding a Pandas data frame, you need to understand what is actually a series. So series is nothing but essentially a column. That means a single column. If you have any data that is having an header, okay, so you have some header name, let's say Apple is the header name, and you have some values around that. So it is a single column, like no any other columns. You have single column, single header name, and it has some values. So it is not actually definite that you should have like a definite number of values. So it can have any number of values, but it should be having only a single column. So this is called a series. Now what is actually a data frame? So data frame actually a combination of two series. So series is actually what, one dimensional, but if you combine one or more series, what will happen, you will create eventually a two-dimensional data structure. So let's say this is a series of apples and this is the series of oranges, and if you combine both of them, what will happen, you will be having two columns instead of one. So apples and oranges and all the values corresponding to that. Now here what is happening, since you are having more than one column, so it will be categorized as a data frame instead of a series. So a data frame is a two-dimensional data structure, that is data is aligned in a tabular fashion in rows and columns. Pandas data frame consists of three principal components: the data, rows and columns. So these are the rows like 0, 1, 2 and 3 and indexing of all those rows, and you have columns. Let's say this is the first column, this is the second column, and data, that means the values, that means 3, 2, 0, 1, 0, 3, 7, 2. All of these are what, values, and this is actually called a data, and this whole is called a data frame. Now that you have understood what is actually series and data frame, now let us look how we can create those in using Pandas library. So let's say first of all we are going to create a Pandas series. So how you can create a Pandas series? Simply this is the variable name that I am giving, num series and pd dot series. So pd is the what, pd is the library, Pandas library that you have imported, and this is the alias name that you have given. So pd dot series. Now what is that thing, dot series? So series is actually a function that is defined under Pandas library, and you can use that using pd dot series, and you can provide the values for which you want to create the series. So let's say you want to create a series, that means single column, so you should provide any list of numbers. So let's say I'm providing a list of numbers 1, 3, 9, 8, 6. So if I just print that num series, whatever I have defined, you can see it is printing all of these numbers that I have provided 1, 3, 9, 8, 6. But along with that, you can also see one thing, that is indexing. But earlier, like other things like you have seen list and arrays, their indexing was there, but you can't see that while printing. But in a series or a data frame, you can directly look at the indexes. So indexes are also printed along with that values that you have given. So 1, 3, 9, 8, 6 is what, the values that you have provided for the series, and this is actually your series, but along with that you have indexing. Now this is what, this is a by default indexing. So is it possible to create any other indexing that you want with your own choice? So yes, that is also possible. Let's say you, instead of having indexing like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, let's say you want to give an index that is A, B, C, D, E. That means alphabetical indexing instead of numbers. So how you can do that? So you have to just call the same thing, pd dot series, and all the list of numbers that you are provided, but along with that you will increase another argument that is having index equals to a, b, c, d, e. So that is the index that you are providing, and along with that you can also provide a name of the Pandas series that you are providing. So this is the third argument that you are providing, name equals to numbers. So this is the name of the Pandas series that you have defined. So if I just print that, you can see it will also print the name, the number that you have provided, and data type is integer since all the values are integer. And you can see clearly that instead of 0 1 2 3 4 you are having indexing a, b, c, d, e that you have provided. So that is how you can create your own indexes instead of having a by default indexing. Now one thing will be interesting here to see that you already know that since this is a series and it has some indexing, so you can do indexing and you can retrieve some of the elements out of that using indexes. Now what will happen if I do print num series 0? So if I do print num series 0, what it will do? So you can see if I just do that, it is printing 1. So even if the indexing that is given, that is not by default, you have provided another indexing that is alphabetical a, b, c, d, e, even though that is having alphabetical indexing, if you provide 0, it is remembering that this is at the 0th index. So if I just change that to instead of 0, if I just change that to 4, you can see it will print 6. So that means 0 1 2 3 4. So that is the last index you have, and it is printing 6. Or if I just provide instead of 4, if I just provide print num series, and instead of a number I am providing the alphabetical value, that means the index that I have provided. If I do that, even if it will print 6. So you can see it is also printing 6 and this one is also printing 6. So remember one thing, if you change that indexing instead of by default indexing, if you change that to any other indexing by your own choices, it doesn't happen that it will forget the by default indexes. So it will not happen that it will forget it by default indexes. No, it will not happen. It will also remember it by default indexes, and along with that it will remember whatever the new indexes that you have provided. So I think that is clear now. Now we are going towards the creating Pandas data frame. So you have seen how we can create a Pandas series. Now we are going towards the Pandas data frame. So since you are creating a Pandas data frame and you already know that it should have more than one column. So it can be created with the help of only more than 1D array, like 2D, 3D array you can provide, but it should have more than one dimensional structure. So you can see, first of all, we are going to look at the creating Pandas data frame using 2D numpy array. So first of all, same, you have to import the Pandas library. Now what I am doing, I am creating a numpy array that is of 2D. So that means 2-dimensional. So first of all, to create a numpy array, you have to import numpy library. Then array 2D is the name that I am giving for my 2D array. And how we can create np.random.randint. So you have already seen what is that code. So using that, what you can do, you can create a random 2D array whose value will range from what, 1 to 5, and the shape of that array will be what, 3, 4. Now since we have created a 2D array, now using that 2D array we are going to create our Pandas data frame. So first data frame is the name that I have given for our first Pandas data frame. And what is the syntax of creating Pandas data frame? So pd.data frame. So while creating series you are using pd.series. So while creating Pandas data frame you will do pd.data frame, and then you will pass the 2D array that you have created, but along with that you have to pass the some of the column names. So since you have given a value a 2D array, so it should have some column header name, because what are those values for? So you should describe that values, that yes, those values are for this column header, and those values are for this column header. So for that you have to give the column names. So what I have done, I have given some random names for those columns, and I'm just printing our first data frame, and you can see this is our first data frame. So this is by default indexing 0 1 2, and this is the column name that we have provided, and these are the values that we have provided from the creating a 2D numpy array. So this is the random values that has been generated from 1 to 5 of the shape 3 comma 4. So you can see 1 2 3 rows and 1 2 3 4 columns. So the shape of that array is what, 3 comma 4, and values are also ranging from 1 to 5. That means 5 is excluding. From 1 to 4 we are having all of the values. Now let's say here by default indexing was 0 1 2. Now we want to give some indexes of our own choices, and that should make any sense. So we are going to provide some of the indexes that would actually make sense. So before that we are going to create again a 2D array. So let's say array 2D, and this is the 2D array that we have created. Now we are creating a data frame, pd.dataframe that array 2D, and this is the column names that we are providing, that means the subject name. And indexing, in indexes what I am providing some of the names. So it will create a data frame that will be having columns which are having subjects and rows which are having names. So you can see if I just print that, so this is the result that we are getting. For Shalav, the math, he is getting some of the, let's say out of 5, this is the grade that he is getting. So Shalav is getting math, in math he is getting 2 out of 5, in physics he is getting 1, in chemistry he is getting 3, and in biology he is getting 3. So these are actually making some sense. So this data is actually making some sense. So we have created a data frame that is having rows as the name of students and the columns as the subject name, and the values are the marks that they are getting. So this is how you can create a pandas data frame using a 2D array. Now are there other ways of creating pandas data frame? Yes, there are many other ways. So first of all, you have seen using 2D array. Now we are going to see how to create a pandas data frame using a list of list. So list of list means what? You are creating a list of lists. So you are having what, actually let's say you are having a pair of values. So let's say for Prakash you are having two values 24 and 75. Then for Ankita you are having two values 25 and 100. Then for Vishu you are having 24 and 90, and then for Prince you are having 22 and 70. Now these are the pair of values you are providing inside a list. Not pair, actually you are providing 3 values. So one is the string that you are providing, and 2 is the numerical value that you are providing. So this is actually what, this is inside a list. Okay, then again another values inside a list, another value inside a list. So there are 4 lists, and this list is under another list. So this is the outer list you have, and inside that you are having 4 lists. So this is what, actually list of list. Now using that, how you can create a pandas data frame? So you have to just provide simply same thing, pd.dataframe, and the list of lists that you have made, you have to just provide that. So it will automatically understand that what kind of data that you have provided, and along with that you have to just provide the column name. Let's say name, age and weight. Now why I am providing 3 column names? Since you are providing 3 values, so these values should make sense. So first value is actually what, for name, second value is for what, age, and third value is for what, weight. So if I just print that, you can see this is the result that we are getting. So for Prakash, this is the name, and his age is 24 and weight is 75. For Ankita, his age is 25 and weight is 100. Now for Vishu, the age is 24 and weight is 90. Similarly for Prince. So this is what, this is a kind of data frame that you have made, which is representing the age and weight of each students, and this you have created using list of lists. So you can see that even if you create a data frame using 2D array or a list of list, the way that you are providing the syntax are exactly same. So pd.dataframe, then the 2D array you are providing here, instead of here list of list you are providing, and then you are providing the column names, and here also column names. So you can see how that pd.dataframe function is intelligent, that it will automatically understand what kind of data that you are providing, either 2D array or list of list. It will convert that into a data frame. But you have to make sure that whatever the columns that you are providing, these are exactly same number of columns as the values that you are providing. So if you are providing any other extra columns and corresponding values are not there, so it will give an error. or if you give columns that is having only, let's say you are providing 2 columns, and since the values are actually 3 here, so it will also create a problem and it will give an error for that. So make sure to provide all of these things correctly. Next we are going to create a pandas data frame using a dictionary. So you can also have a dictionary, and you already know that what is a dictionary actually. So it is a key value pair you have. So let's say this is the key that you have, employee name, and along with that you have some of the values. So Gaurav, Saket, Sakshi is the values of the employee name key, and along with that you can have multiple key values pair, so not just one. So you can see after that key value pair of employee name, I am having a key value pair of income. So income is the key, and all of these are values corresponding to that key. So make sure the number of values that you are providing for income is same as the values that you are provided for employee name. So since you are providing here 3 values, so it should also contain 3 values. Now what you can do, you can just do pd.dataframe, and you have to just pass the employee dict. Now why here you are not giving the column name? Since you are passing a dictionary, it already have the header name, since these key are actually the header name you have in the dictionary. So that is why you need not to pass any extra column here. So you need not to pass any columns as a argument here, and you can just pass the employee dict, and if you just run that, it will just create a that data frame containing that key is the column header name for the first column, and for this again a key value pair, this is the key income, and this becomes the column header name here, and all of those values corresponding to that are getting here. So this is the data frame that you have created. So this is the one of the way of creating data frame from dictionary, and there can be many other ways, like simply what you can do, you can use pd.series inside a dictionary. So instead of providing those values here in a list, you are actually, what you are doing, you are providing the pd.series, and you are creating a series of the data, and this is the first series, then this is the second series, and this becomes a key value pair. Again you are passing that dictionary simply here and creating a data frame. So this is the key first series, so it will come as a header name, and all of those values 10, 20, 30, 40 will come as a values here. Similarly for the second series. Now let's move towards another way of creating a data frame using list of dictionaries. So here you are having a simple dictionary, a single dictionary, but you can also provide a list of dictionary. So what will happen in those cases? So you need to be careful here how those data are getting passed and how data frame has been created. So if you just provide a single dictionary, the key is getting converted as the column header name, and the values are getting provided as the values. Now if I just provide a list of dictionary, so let's say this is one of the dictionary, from here to here is the one of the dictionary you have, then again from here to here another dictionary, and this is the third dictionary you have. So 3 dictionary that you are passing inside a list. So this is what actually a list of dictionaries. Now if I just pass that as an argument while creating pd.dataframe, and if I just print our dataset, you can see how the dataset has been created. ABC. Now this is what? This is the key name of each of the dictionary. So you can see it clearly, for each of these dictionaries the key name is same, like the order is also same, ABC, then again ABC, then again ABC. So that is why it is coming as a common column header name. Now what are the values? Corresponding values 1 to 3 coming as a first row. So here while you are creating a dictionary, all of those are getting converted into a single column here, but here that is not the case, that is different case. It is getting converted into a rows, 1 to 3 rows, then again 4, 5, 6, then again 10, 15, 16. So this is how it is getting converted into a pandas data frame using list of dictionary. Now what will happen if I just change any column name, let's say the key name actually here. So if I just change that A to E, and if I just run that, you can see what will happen, that instead of having, let's say there was having 3 column names ABC, but now there is another column name that is coming E. So what will happen, it is going at the last. Okay, and how the dataset has been created, let's say for the first dictionary ABC, this is the column ABC. Now what are the values? 1 to 3, it is getting inserted here. Now there is another column also E. Why it is coming? Because it will take all the common columns and the extra columns it has. So ABC is the common column you have in all the dictionary, so ABC is there. But since in the second dictionary you are having only BC common and E is different, so it is coming as the fourth column also. Now since for the first dictionary, since you are not having the column E, there is no value for the first dictionary. That is why for the first row you are having a none value. So NaN is what? NaN is a short form of not a number. So you are not having any values here. That is why none value is coming. Now if you see the second dictionary, you are having EBC. So for which column you are not having value? For A you are not having column. So for A it will be having a non values, and for B, C and E it is having some values. So for E you can see 4, that is why it is coming 4. Now again for the last one, ABC is having some values and E is not having value, that is why it is coming as a none value. So that is how you can create a data frame using list of dictionaries, and you need to take care of what are the column values, that means the key value that you are providing inside that dictionary, because those are going to be converted into a column header here. So that is the same example that I have given. So instead of having same column name, I am providing AB here in the first dictionary, and in the second dictionary I am providing an extra key name, that is C. So that is why you can see it is getting inserted here. And since for the first row you are having no any values for C, you are having a none values, but for the second column you are having the value 6, that is why it is coming. Moving towards the next way of creating pandas data frame. So why I'm showing you all that kind of ways of creating pandas data frame, and is it necessary to remember all of those methods? So the answer of the first question is yes, it is very necessary to understand that how you can create pandas data frame using different kind of dataset that you have, because you don't know in what scenario what kind of dataset you have, and you need to convert that into pandas data frame so that you can apply those pandas library onto that, and you can do some of the analysis on that data. So you need to know and you should have some idea that this type of data set can be converted into a pandas data frame. But yes, it is not necessary to remember all of these things, and also it is not possible to remember all of these methods, but yes, you should have an idea so that if there is a requirement you can directly google it out and you can understand the logic and the codes and the syntaxes so that you can apply that. So that is the main thing that you need to understand. So let's say we are going to understand how you can create a pandas data frame using a list of tuples. So let's say again importing the libraries. So list of tuples means what? List of tuples you have already seen. Let's say there is two lists. First is the, let's say, actor names. So some of the name of the actors, let's say SRK, Salman Bhai, Ranveer and Siddharth, and then their ages. Let's say for the fourth one Siddharth, I don't know what is the age. So in that case what I am doing, so I am passing np.none. So what is that thing? np.none, it will create a none values. So you have already seen what is actually none values. And then what I am doing, I am creating a list of tuples. So we are going to learn how we can create pandas data frame using list of tuples. So since we are going to learn how to create pandas data frame using list of tuples, so we are going to first create that list of tuples. So since two lists you have, how you can create a list of tuples? You have to just do list, then zip them together. So you have to just provide the both of the list inside that zip, and it will convert that into a tuple, and then you are providing list in the outer braces, so it will convert that into a list. So actually there was a tuple and then you have converted that tuples into list, so it will create a list of tuples. Now how you can create a data frame? pd.data frame, then the list of tuples you are just passing that, and the column names that you are passing. So since you are having two lists, actor names and ages, so you are passing two column names, name and age. So if I just print that, you can see how it is getting created. So first of all I am just printing a list of tuples, and then I am printing that data frame that we have created. So this is the list of tuples that is getting printed here. You can see SRK and Salman and Ranveer, all of these actors, and along with that you are having the age. So these are actually what? This is a round bracket having a tuple, then again there is a tuple, and they all are inside a list. So this is list of tuples, and this is how your data set has been created. So this is the pandas data frame. You have name and ages. So you can see for Siddharth you are having none values. Why? Because you have not given any value here. So I hope that part is clear now. So those were the some of the ways of creating pandas data framework. Now what we are going to look at, we are going to look at the methods and attributes associated with the pandas data frame in Python.